Here's how I color grade a concert video from start to finish in Davinci Resolve. Okay, so first thing I do is I just drag and drop my clip into my timeline, and I'm gonna make sure my timeline settings are correct. So I just go in project settings. So I'm using 180 by 1920. In terms of color management, these are the settings I use. After that, I just trim my clip. So I'm just gonna cut the first part here. So I'm just gonna do some basics right now. So stabilization, you can use either perspective, similarity, or translation. Just play around these and just pick the one that looks the best to you. So now the stabilization is done. Now on to grading. So this is the page that's going to show up. So the first step you want to do is just add a few notes, just like that. Now I'm going to take the first one and I'm going to go look up color space transform, just like this, and drag it onto the first clip. So for the input, I'm shooting on Sony S-Log. So that's what I'm going to select. So the first one's going to be Sony S Gamma 3. Second one is going to be Sony S-Log 3, and color output space, just leave it as is. Then you're going to do the same thing with your last node and leave the input as use timeline, and the output is going to be Rec 709A. So I am using a MacBook, and basically Macs have different like colors than Windows, so you need to select Rec 709A for Apple. But I'm going to use the first node just to make some primaries adjustments. So this is the tab that I'm mostly using. I usually will just start by my white balance, so I'm going to pick this right there and just click on whites. There you go. Then I'll do the same thing with lift, so I'm going to pick this right there. And you're gonna go and pick a black point in your image. So anything that would be the most like neutral or the lowest in the black. So here probably. And then gain is gonna be same thing with like your brightest point in your image. So there you go. So now like basic adjustments are done. After that, you can start color grading. So you can still color grade within the same page. So I'm just gonna lift the shadows a little bit more. Maybe reduce this right there. It does feel like it's a little bit orangey yellow, so I'm gonna play around my blues just like this. And basically I just play around until like I'm satisfied that it looks as I want it to be. Also, if you're scared that your image is overexposed, just on the right there, you can use the scope waveform. So this is your highlights, and if they're all the way pushed to the top, it means that it's very, like, it's too bright, it's overexposed, so you need to lower that. Right now we're good, it's still within the range. Then you can do that in the same node. I'm just gonna add another one. So this one, I'm just gonna go do my curve adjustments. So I do like lifting the blacks a little bit and just create a little bit of a shape on here. So that should be about that. Then sometimes you might still have some color adjustments to do. So you have this color slice right there. So if your skin is a little bit too yellow, you can play around with it and like just change it like that. Mine is pretty good like that, so I'm not gonna change more. Also, you can play around the saturation just like that. If you want a little bit more saturation, you can increase this a little bit. Sometimes I do most of the time, but not always. Then I'll show you a little thing I don't use, but chroma wrapper, if there's any color you want to change, because honestly I do feel like my shadows are a little bit purple and blue. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just use this, and you can drag it around to change one color. So I kind of want to make it a little bit more like teal colored turquoise. So just like this looks a lot better to me. So you want to make all your adjustments before putting any LUTs. I started creating some, so I'm going to use one that I made most likely. I do like this one a lot. So you can just like adjust just like that, the strain of it. So this one's a little bit more like blue highlights. I do like it quite a bit, so I'm going to use this one as a LUT. Probably just going to lower a little bit the exposure here, just because it's a little bit overpowering, and lift a little bit more my blacks. Now this is optional, but I do like adding some effects sometimes. So halation is one of my favorite ones. I use it in like 99% of my clips. I'm sure you've noticed somewhere. So you can play around the colors here. So this is a straight, the gamma. So you can see like the more I increase this, the more you can see like the red hollow around your highlights. Basically can do the same with saturation. I usually don't put too much because if not it's like really overpowering. It's just a little bit to add like some type of a style, a little something to it, you know, a little bit of flavor. So I don't use this one all the time, but it can be fun here and there for some videos to just add it. So you can see a little bit what it does. So you can just play around like this. I might actually add it just a tiny bit, just like that. And there you go, that's pretty much it if you just want to color grade videos. Another tip that I have if you're still watching, if you're shooting concert videos, you're not using a mic, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't always use a mic. I don't like because it's bulky. I do EQ my audio, and it does sound pretty good, honestly, depending the camera you have. If you're on Sony, usually the audio is pretty good without mic, unless you're right next to the speakers. But you can just create a little bit of a shape like this. So you just want to like have the first and last being dropped down a little bit, just like that. And then everything in the middle, you want to bump it up. Because basically these are your frequencies, so this is more like the bass, this is like vocals, so you just want to increase that a little bit. And depending like if it's a male or female singer, obviously the frequency is going to be different, so you just want to play around with it until you feel like it sounds better. And last little tip, if you don't want to do this all over again every time you color grade, you can just come and be your grading onto another clip. And if you want to save it to reuse for other projects in the future, you can just grab a still. So you do right click on your image, grab still, then it's going to show up in your stills right here. And if you want to save it for the future, you can just create a little album just like that. So if you do concerts, I should have been doing this, I didn't, but whatever. And then you just drag it in there. It's going to show up in all your future projects. So I hope this helps, and good luck grading. If you have any questions, please let me know.